Hey everyone, happy Mardi Gras and happy birthday to me. 2025 is a massive year already in insurance, innovation and technology. We've seen political interference, major insurer results, leadership shake-ups and game-changing innovation, and we're only 8 weeks into the year. In reality, in corporate, we're only 4 weeks into the year because not much happens before Australia Day. I've pulled together the key insights in my latest newsletter, but I thought I wanted to share some of the key points here with you today. Reporting season is wrapping up. We've seen impressive results, profit results from Medibank, NIB, Suncorp, IAG, and QBE so far, with Allianz scheduled to report tonight, Australian time. AI, M&A, and digital transformation have been the big themes that I've seen coming across all of those insurers. Unsurprisingly, with AI, it's obviously the buzzword, but particularly looking at things that can provide efficiencies for the insurers, the larger ones in particular, is of high interest. M&A, we've got, particularly in general insurance, we are seeing a few of the smaller state-based insurers come up for sale. Certainly, we've seen some transactions towards the end of last year. But we are expecting to see some bidding wars and some more M&A play out over this calendar year. In the private healthcare space, I expect that will take a little bit longer to shake out because we are expecting low growth over the coming decade. But I expect we will see some M&A activity start to ramp up over the coming years. Certainly, we've got some well-capitalized insurers who are certainly ready to pounce. In health insurance, it has remained in the spotlight, unsurprisingly, in an election year. Medibank has launched Australia's first no-gap hospital, which I think is one of the two most significant game-changing features or changes, innovations in health insurance that we've seen for some time, the other being Bupa's launch of Medibank free consults towards the back end of last year. We've seen the federal government pushing reforms to support the struggling private hospital sector. Not sure how much there is in that. Potentially it's just a bit of a sort of safe face in an election year, but we'll see how that starts to shake out. I have shared my perspectives on that in the newsletter. Pricing pressures are continuing to mount on health insurers. They did see claims inflation smash them in the face towards the back end of last year. And the government just yesterday has approved premium increases above inflation, so potentially politically damaging, but below health inflation, which is generally much higher than overall inflation. So we will see continue those premium pressures on the insurers and then trying to reduce their management expense ratios as they get squeezed from customers who are, or members who are not happy with the higher than inflation price rises and the perfect sandwich of increasing costs that they're unable to pass through to the consumers and their members. In general insurance, we're seeing challenges continue to grow. The coalition has, as the opposition party in Australia, has made some statements around potentially breaking up the big insurers as a way to bring premium pressures down. Again, I sense there could be a lot of politicisation in this. It will be interesting to see if it does play out, particularly if we do see a change of government in May this year. My perspective is that we've actually got a pretty good mix. We've got 5 players representing about 80% of the market, and we do have a pretty long tail on that industry. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out and if there's any kind of meat behind what Peter Dutton has said. The other thing in general insurance is we've seen uninsurability and the protection gap become exposed again. So we've seen the LA wildfires happening in winter over in California, although that may not necessarily feel like it has a direct impact on insurance premiums here. That doesn't particularly impact reinsurance, which costs is a major cost line for all of the insurers around the world. And if you've got other areas of the world that are exposed to some of these risks where they may not have otherwise, everyone's premiums go up. We've also seen similar challenges with the floods in Townsville. Northern Australia continues to prove a challenging place to insure. And it'll be interesting to see if the government and the major insurers continue to invest in that space and finding a solution to kind of plug the underinsurance gap and the protection gap that is pretty significant in Australia at around 35% of people who are underinsured or uninsured. On the podcast this month, I was lucky enough to sit down with James Orchard, the CEO of QBE Ventures and the chair of InsurTech Australia. James shared his secrets on how to innovate inside a large corporate, and him and QBE under his leadership has done a fantastic job of that over the past 5 or 6 years. It's been our most popular episode to date, so certainly one not to miss on Spotify or YouTube. Again, you can catch that through the Innovation Insider subscription. And finally, we were very excited to release the General Insurance Innovation Report for 2025 earlier this month. What it does is essentially assesses and ranks Australia's major general insurers and how they are innovating in response to key industry challenges such as climate change, the protection gap, changing customer expectations, and rising premiums. So you can download your copy of that for free from our website. Again, if you subscribe to the newsletter, we've got all the links, we've got everything that you need to access anything that you're after. So make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all things insurance, innovation, and technology, and I look forward to seeing you soon.